Hi guys, I hope you're well. I'm very excited to introduce you today to Valeriya Gogunskaya, who is a longboard dancer and the founder of the longboarding camp that's organized in Portugal. And in this camp, Valeriya brings together the best longboard dancers out there as teachers and enthusiasts who want to improve their longboard dancing skills. And I've participated in this camp earlier this summer, had an amazing time, and wanted to share Valeriya's story with you. In this talk, Valeriya will share with us how she has started with longboarding, which skills the best longboard dancers have, how to create driven from your true impulse, and she has a few more tips on living a dream. And now I'm super excited to introduce you to Valeriya. Let's dive in.
Me, I have all the time of the world, so just see for you. I'm not in a rush.
Okay, great. I've been following you for like a few years already. I think like most people found your reel on Instagram. And we're really inspired by that lightness and play that you bring to the longboarding. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to finally meet you in person. And I just kind of haven't been in the longboarding camp for the week. Can really feel that spirit, that you bring to the longboard dancing, really existing here in the group with the teachers. And it's really sort of inspiring to see people doing what they love and sharing it with others. So I wanted to ask a little bit of your stories to share it with the listeners. How did you discover longboard dancing? What attracted you to it? And how did the whole love story with that start?
One day I was kind of lost. You know how you get in this talking flow? We have in Russia, we have this social network called VK, which is a kind of an alternative of Facebook. And you know how sometimes you check what friend, then you check friend, and then you end up somewhere else. And I fell on a page of a guy who happens to be into longboarding. And I was just kind of checking the video he shared. And there was this video of a Korean rider, Duyan. And I open it and I see this thing like this guy doing crazy steps and turns and maneuvers on a longboard. And I just remember I was sitting with my jaw down, completely shocked, because I feel like, we know that dancing exists, we know that singing exists, ballet, but like this combo of watching it, at first I kind of had this conflict in my head, like, what is this? What is this combo? How does this thing exist? Something really touched me, and I was already longboarding in that time, like kind of just cruising, and then I started to do first tricks. But it was kind of this love from the first sight.
It was while you were still living in Russia?
It was already in Finland.
In Finland.
First, you are like completely excited by this new passion.
Mm-hmm.
And all you want is that. And then there was a period where I felt a lot of ambition in me to kind of succeed as an athlete. Like I didn't have these athletic endeavors, but I definitely was kind of avid to progress.
To learn is that drive, right?
Exactly. Then there was this period which was very community oriented. We ran a lot of events, started the camps. I was also like kind of still very enthusiastic about like learning a lot before me in a way. Then there was a period we also where longboarding starts to be more professional, in the sense that I started to have a lot of work related to it, mostly like commercial influencer and creation. And right now, so it was like, very professional oriented, again, very performance oriented, but in a bit in other way, meaning that suddenly I was exposed to a lot of young students it's just something that kind of already is a part of my being. So I would take a board and just listen to the song that I just discovered recently, or that touches me currently, and kind of just flow without any ambition or expectation. Very little ambition, a very little desire to show off or prove something.
But we can only be there once we've done all the accomplishments, right? Like, we have to pass that. That's kind of those weights first before you can enter this sort of really like a flow state, right? And just enjoy the process suddenly, right?
Yeah.
But don't you feel like once you enter this flow state, and it's like you're suddenly just living and creating the way things come naturally without kind of too much push, actually even more things or like very different things start coming up that you've never even maybe imagined before. And it's also a very beautiful period. Do you get that?
Yeah.
I'm very curious about, like, since you work with really the best longboarders out there in the world who are really cool and so talented. So I'm just curious, like, from your kind of perspective, these people that are really good, like Abu, right? What qualities do they embody that you would say, wow, that person has really got it. He has the potential to reach for the stars. But what would be the qualities that somebody who picks up longboarding, and practices with time that they need to develop or they naturally possess?
I know that there is this debate, kind of ongoing and unresolvable debate between, is it a given or is it,
yes,
to which part is it a given, and part that like can be developed, can leaders be made? I do think that there is something innate. Like, for example, I believe that best dancers, best painters, they do have an inclination towards something, or there is something inside. But I still think that then the defining factor is the consistency. And when it comes to genius or kind of outlier, like positive outlier, I think it's a bit of an innate story. Like, if we look at Abu, there is something that is very much of his own like style, and I'm not sure if if somebody who has the kind of the same physical base and puts in the same amount of hours and does exactly what he does would ever be able to replicate that.
No, I know what you mean. But this is more about the style, the kind of his personal groove. What would the other person need to do to come up maybe with his own style, but be, let's say, equally good? Are there any sort of qualities that you're saying among the best ones are repetitive?
Consistency. I see that people who are good, it's like longboarding makes kind of a solid part in their lives. The more I kind of look at life and I see that, when you're trying to take care of yourself, it's your, meditation of 10 minutes every day that takes you further than you doing it, once a week, but 1 hour,
Yes.
Kind of force yourself to do it. It's eating healthily regular basis rather than doing these stretches of healthy and then healthy. Personally, I see a big difference when I'm skating on my own and nobody's watching me, and I can really kind of I'm not scared to look awkward. I just be inadequate. And then when I feel watched, how it can block you. Yes. So I feel like, this courage just to let it all out and courage not to look stupid can also help a lot.
Yeah, these are great tips. So if we kind of look at what are the things that we see longboarding has that is in life in general, kind of the lessons we can take from longboarding to living life to the fullest. I guess that's also would be that, right? That whatever we want that dream to be, going towards that, it's work in a way, right? And it has to be consistent work towards that. And yes, and courage to just be yourself and live that dream, right?
I think sports are very metaphorical to life.
Yes, exactly.
Try, because it holds true.
Yes.
And I feel like if we are just in ground, humble, you can feel what you truly want, expectations or standards that you created for yourself. Because I feel like when we are driven by this true impulse, it's much easier to achieve things rather than when we achieve them on just willpower. Willpower is scarce.
Yeah,
it's just doing as much on will.
Love that. And such a much more natural and playful way to go down the path that's kind of yours, right? It's very different than if we really want to live our dream, right? The most important thing is just to listen. Well, how does that engine work? How does it want to express itself? And then all we have to do is just take the courage to own it in a way and say, yeah, that's how I want to live. And that's my life. Like you just need to create your way and from scratch and build, like walk the unwalked path in a way and see what happens.
I always thought that the things I create for very selfish reasons. It's this, and I love this phrase, which says, we teach best what we need to learn ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel like the Longboard camp is exactly that story where I really wanted to have someone to teach me to longboard. I was a bit lonely because there was community here in Portugal. And I just also really needed someone to guide me. Because right now there is, for example, much more teaching, learning content.
Yes,
video to learn it.
Yeah, but not when you was starting.
It was very scarce. There was no community, no one you could come and skate with. So then you had to figure out everything on your own. And in that moment, I didn't have opportunity to travel, to meet other riders, for example. So I was like, okay, since I cannot go, I'll bring them here. And it turned out this kind of need was relevant for many people. And I feel like, for example, in the retreat, it's a lot driven by my interest and by my need of being an entrepreneur, of finding that Eldorado work-life balance, finding compassion for myself, of taking care of my body, of accepting the body changing, of being a woman in all this relationship. I think it's just all these questions that are in me, and then they find these exit experiences that I create. There is always this duality between us thinking that our experiences are very unique, like, oh my God, what I'm going through. So for sure, what I'm going through, there are women who can resonate and who will need what I create. And I think actually this post can be a very good starting point for anyone who is scared to start creating something, because often we think, but there are so many people who run restaurants where there are already 1,000 podcasts, there are 1,000 yoga teachers, life coaches, I don't know. But the truth is that we always make it ours. People will follow specifically us. And so I feel like there is room for everyone.
Yes, the world is big. And We just need to find our own place, right? And bring out our own rainbow.
When we copy someone's success, we can only copy hard skills.
So you're already living the dream, right? You've had. And is there like the next dream? Like what is the new direction you're contemplating? Or for now, it's kind of enjoying the ride the way it is without much sort of next steps, right?
Well, being low, more grounded, and I had already an experience of organizing thematic retreats. With also with yoga, with painting, with macrame, and I really liked it. But at that moment, it felt like it was not. It was a bit of too much of everything, so I focused on longboarding. But right now, I feel this calling to start curating the experiences that would allow for deep rest, just give space for self-care. That's the thing. Since it's connected to the kind of to well-being, to slow life, I don't want to do it in a rush. So
yeah, of course.
I want a opportunity not to rush. Take my time and work less right now, which is just hard.
That's an ever-moving target, right? It's beautiful. So thank you so much to Valeriya for sharing all her tips on living the dream. I hope you enjoyed meeting her as much as I did, and I wish you all the best creating your best life, and stay on the beat with us.